Happy Friday as of when we're recording this and doing this live right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Josh. And listen, I've got my good friend, Lynn Whitbeck, who not only is my good friend, Lynn, you and I have been doing great work together. You are my mentor. You were one of my go-to mentors when it comes to on the call sales activity, follow up, and also like how to just be generous in the world and to be truly to lead with worthy intent. So this video is for anybody that is doing any kind of sales, particularly, Lynn, correct me if I'm wrong, the entrepreneurs, early stage business owners. If you're a founder, you're a coach, and you are on calls with potential clients. Lynn, I'm going to start off with kind of the thesis. It is really, if you're just trying to do this all on your own, and maybe all you're doing is just watching a YouTube video or listening to a podcast here and there, that makes sales probably way harder than it should be.
Yeah. Absolutely. The number one thing that you really need to do is figure out your sales strategy. And this is going from the very beginning of thinking like your client all the way through to follow up, negotiation, closing, and then scaling your business. And clients, your strategy is that core throughput of your client experience at every stage. And that client thinking, it is so important because it's how you attract clients, how you create the spark, and then how you keep the conversation going until you guide them to a sale. And then you continue to work with them, giving that great experience so they become raving fans, referral resources, and they give you more business. So it's that whole journey and process. And to your point, Josh, it is with worthy intent. You must actually give a darn about helping and serving your clients and creating an impact for them in whatever it is your product or service does. And to me, that just makes my heart sing when I help my clients. In turn, they help their clients. They get more business. They create more jobs. They create opportunity within their community. And man, isn't that a beautiful thing?
Yeah. Hey, to our friend that's watching this, if you could do me a favor, Lynn, the audio is garbling again. And so, but it may just be me. For a friend that's watching this right now, do me a favor, is Lynn's audio okay? Or are you hearing what I'm hearing? But if you could comment below and just let me know. I may or may not see it depending on where you're streaming this, because I'm streaming it on all my social media channels. Some of them, it'll send me a ping with your comments. So let me know what you hear. And Lynn, I'm going to mess around with your audio really quick. I'm going to try muting you, turn you off and on. We'll see if that fixes it. Actually, let me even do this. All right, Lynn, I'm going to bring you back here. We'll see. Maybe that first. Okay. For those of us who have to do sales calls, Lynn, can you explain a little bit more about what worthy intent is and why it is so critical? If you are having sales calls and you're getting ghosted and people are just not moving forward in the sales process, it feels awkward, it feels uncomfortable, people are not responding to you. I can tell you, having been mentored by Lynn, it probably has to do with where your focus is in kind of like what you want versus what they want. And again, this concept of worthy intent that, man, you got to get this right. Lynn, help us out. What is worthy intent?
Well, worthy intent is all about your genuine curiosity and desire to help and serve others. It really sets you apart. You know, people have a very high BS meter these days, and they can tell if you give a darn. And it means that you really are invested in them and in their business. And you have to have a passion for what they're doing. And worthy intent is that unique piece that helps you rapidly build rapport and make that connection. And worthy intent is part of who you are. It's your heart. And that you want to help and serve others. So that in a nutshell is what worthy intent is and why it matters so much, because it's human to human selling. You're selling to another human being. They have emotions, they have motivations, just like you. And you need to meet them on that level.
What would be an example of someone, like something that maybe we've all heard salespeople say that indicates that they're not selling in the way that works today. They're not leading with noble intent. How might that sound in a non-worthy intent example, and how might a worthy intent maybe just, again, maybe it's a phrase, maybe it's a way that we're doing follow-up. How might each of those look?
Okay, so I'll give you a really good example. So you're at a car dealership and you're looking at a car, and the salesperson just keeps going. They never ask you, how are you going to use the car? What does your family do with the car? Where do you shop? Do you have, what kind of activities do you participate in? Because if they would ask you those questions, they might find out, you're a little league coach and you're hauling a whole bunch of players around in that car, or that you go camping and you go off-roading, or that you love to garden. And so you love to buy new plants and bring them home. All of those things are going to tell you about what's the right type of vehicle for you. Yeah. And when they just run over you and and they may know that product left, right, and center, but they're not really interested in you and how you're going to use the car and what matters to you. This is about what matters to the client. This is the core. So they can what? So they can go camping in the mountains, and maybe take one of the little, a road that's pretty rickety, right? To get to those great campgrounds, so that they can go to the nursery and buy a bunch of plants that can all sit flat in the back of the car, and that they can easily take that tray out and clean it, put it back in, right? So they have to, those are really core decisions that a client's going to say, well, yeah, this is a perfect vehicle for us because of this.
Yeah. Lynn,
those are the types of, that's an example.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I love that you pointed this out, that, listen, this is more critical than ever before. The old school Tom Hopkins sales training, just having hypnotic closing, like all of that stuff, like everyone knows what you're doing. You're not fooling anybody. And it just feels icky. And so, here's if you want a phenomenal closing rate, if you want to have just an enjoyable follow-up process with all of your clients, if you ask better questions, and if you are truly advocating for your clients' best outcomes, and Lynn, also very importantly, right, is being totally okay with your solution may be a fit for them, it may not be a fit for them. And if you know of any better possible solution for them, like, are you willing to be that level of honest, or do you need to make the sale? Right. So, and I'll just close with this, is that you cannot fake it in sales today. Audiences, customers, we're all savvy. We all know what you want. So if your heart's not in the right place and you're really struggling to try to attract new clients and then have productive conversations that lead to engagements and so forth, check your heart. Because again, if you're just, and it's tough, Lynn, when you're in a situation where you need to make money, like, I'm so sympathetic to that. But man, it's, if you're coming at a conversation with any degree of desperation, yeah, I mean, people know it within the first few words of what you say. Is there any way that you can make that shift? You're like, yes, I'm so desperate about, I got to make payroll and I have to pay my bills and I got to pay my hosting bill and I got to do this and I need money to live and I don't have enough. And so how do you go into a call and just kind of like take a shower from all that anxiety so that you can show up and remember, oh, no. Oh, no. I'm here to be present and to be of service to this person right now.
Yeah. Well, you're also there to determine if they're a good fit for you. I mean, this works both ways. If a client isn't a good fit for you, then you need to, you can spend a whole bunch of time trying to help and work with that client, but they're not a good fit. You sort of mentioned that earlier. That is absolutely crucial. The other thing is when you come from that, from a mindset of negativity and lack, you're basically projecting that forward. And so, there's so many different techniques, but you really need to reset your mind and say, come at it from an abundance perspective. And is this client qualified to work with us? Right? And so when you sort of flip that switch and then you're asking those questions because you're trying to learn from them, you're going to listen 80% of the time, they will tell you everything you need to know. They're going to tell you if they're a good fit. They're going to tell you what they want, need, or lack. They're going to tell you what pain points they have, what areas of concern, why it matters to them, and what's their big goal, aspiration, or initiative that they're trying to achieve. And from that, you can determine that they're a good fit. And when you do that, then now you have that map to move forward because they've actually told you everything they need to know. And you can also ask leading questions. Tell me more. Help me understand. And those are all of the things that you need to do to pull that out because you're guiding them to a decision. You're not selling them. Let's just throw that out
Love
right
it.
now.
Love it.
You're guiding them to a decision.
Yeah. Lynn, you're my mentor, one of my mentors. And honestly, one of the key reasons that we have had as a company about 50%. It's kind of funny. Like we just had the final accounting for the year and it was about the same as last year. It's like we had about a 50% growth year after year, now 2 years in a row, which is awesome at our level. That's like really exciting growth. But it's because we've been consistent. One feedback that we get, and again, I credit you for, because I mean, we kind of had the, like we had values alignment was already locked and loaded before we started working with you. You just helped us to articulate that into action. And so as a result, we get feedback all the time. And people just appreciate our genuineness and the fact that, what you were talking about. And I think this is really critical. Like one thing that I bring up in a sales conversation, I say, well, kind of our ideal client is, and then I start kind of listing off, they should be very relationship oriented. We don't work with sharks at all. I mean, that's a hard stop on us. And so I start laying out values about who we are and what we stand for. And I'm looking at their response and their reaction because I gotta be careful here. I had one sales call with the guy and he's like, yeah, so I want to sell dudes programs so they can pick up chicks and have a lot of bling. And I'm like, go do you, but that's not going to be a fit for my team. My team is 99% female, and some of them are absolutely not going to jive with that. And so, I didn't say all that, but I kind of politely said, okay, that sounds. We may not be the best solution for you. So,
No,
and that's really
absolutely.
important to
I mean,
know.
and that's the thing. There should be 5 things that your clients need to say heck yes to. And you need to know what those are. And if they can't say heck yes to that, then they're not a fit for you.
Yeah.
It's that simple. You're going to spend so much time ineffectively trying to work with them when you could be working with your ideal clients. And that comes from that core strategy of thinking like the client and then working out your ideal client's avatar and then revisiting your client thinking and then running that all the way through every activity, everything you do,
Yeah.
your outreach, your follow-up, your negotiation, how you do your presentations, whether it's talking on a live stream or doing a webinar or a summit presentation or speaking live on the stage, wherever it happens to do, you need to have that. And that is so crucial that's what sales strategy is. It's figuring those things out and that you have it. It allows you to scale because that's what you've done, Josh. You've figured out everything you needed to do That's what we worked all the way through your program with Alyssa, and you can replicate it. You bring more people on the team and you have it all mapped out for them. You know what that is. So it makes it easy, and everyone is in lockstep. We're working together, we're rowing together. You don't have somebody out there trying to steer the boat in a different direction.
I make, Lynn, as a business leader, I make a lot of investments into my personal growth, into my team's professional growth, into our systems and processes, because that is, in my opinion, that's the path to growth, right? If I'm just doing the same old thing and I'm not improving or I'm stagnating, that is an indicator to me that I probably need to disrupt things a little bit, or I need new information, or most importantly, I need a fresh set of eyes, someone to look at my activity, help me identify what's not working and what do I need to fix so that I can make the impact in the world that I desire. So I'm just putting a link on the screen right now, upmyinfluence.com/sales 23 sales 23 for 2023. And again, it's upmyinfluence.com/sales 23. Disclosure, Lynn and I are friends, partners. We're each clients of each other's services. And it is an affiliate link. So if you don't want to click on my affiliate link, you can go search for Lynn and you'll find her. I don't click on no affiliate links. I don't want Josh to get, that's fine. I don't care. But if for simplicity, go ahead and go. So Lynn, let me see if I can actually, I don't know if I can do a share screen here, but I want to just share, I'll see if I can do this really quick here because I want to share what you do, but this might take me a second. Can you, while I'm doing that, can you talk just about like who you work with and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a number of different ways that we work with clients. So we have a private client engagement of consulting, and it's a really one-on-one done for you service. And then we have our group programs. We specifically have our membership programs, and these are designed for entrepreneurs, coaches, very small business owners who need that additional assistance, but they don't have the investment for a private client relationship. So the membership programs are phenomenal because they are stacked and you can move amongst the programs. So you could start at one level and decide, well, this is fantastic, I want to upgrade, and you can move up. After you've gotten a certain amount of progress and you've sort of digested that and you're going like, okay, well, I want to stay in the program, but I need to sort of, or things are going on in your life, you can say, well, no, I don't need the consulting sessions at this point. And so you could move down a level. So it gives you that flexibility because, you know, timing is everything and how you work with things. Sometimes you might want to spend some more time really getting something in place and then you can come back. But the programs have different levels of service and what you can receive from us or what you will receive from us. And it goes through our entire strategic sales program from soup to nuts, starting with client thinking, working all the way through scaling. And we do that on an ongoing basis. And at the roadmap level and higher, you have access to the library, but everything is delivered live. So you have the opportunity to join all of the sessions live and have that opportunity to be in a focus seat, ask questions, really understand how this applies to you, hear how other people, their questions, and it often will trigger like, oh, okay, I get it. Even though that's a completely different business, I see how I can apply that and implement it in our business. And it is all about implementing it every month so you move your business forward. This is not some type of thing that I'm going to throw you into an online learning center. This is live, human to human consulting and training, and with worksheets and workbooks and guides so that you will move your business forward and make stronger immediate connections with your clients to get more business.
Yeah, I can tell you, Lynn, and I just, again, I want to talk friend to friend, with my fellow business owners. I believe that there are some things that you can do, and I think that you can completely just DIY, self-learn, watch a bunch of YouTube videos, keep doing that, rock out on the podcast, and I think that you can learn tried and true principles, and I think you can do really well with those particular skills. I think there's probably some foundational sales things that you could do with that. However, sales is the one thing that I would never in a million years try to silo my sales skills. I will always have support, peers, mentors, because it is too critical for me to make dumb errors. And the moment I think that I've got it all figured out when it comes to sales, Lynn, whoo, I think is the day that my team is going to start getting really frustrated at me because I'm just not bringing it home. I put the link on the page right here. Go check it out. I can vouch for Lynn, as you've heard me say, upmyinfluence.com/sales23. And that will link directly to Lynn's website. Again, disclosure, it is an affiliate link. But Lynn, working with you again, start at $47. If you're not yet, if you don't know Lynn, start there and work your way up. Lynn is phenomenal. If you are a shark in sales, probably not a good fit.
No.
If you are heart-centered, if you are relationship-oriented, if you have been following the work that I do, and you're like, I think Josh seems pretty, he seems to have a pretty good heart in everything that he does. Guess what? It's because I associate with people like Lynn. And so Lynn you've affirmed to me that this is the right way to do business. And when some gurus and folks out there, Lynn, might be, just there, you need, all these closing tactics and techniques and these scripts, some of that is helpful, but intention is everything today. And so if you're and again, I don't mean to ruffle too many feathers here, but again, if you have been part of a bro-y Glenn Ross, used car, boiler room kind of sales training community group, and you're like, I get that, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel good. Lynn is where you want to go. And I think, one thing, Lynn, I feel like, when we do the sales training and we do it in this heart-centered way, it just feels good. I don't dread ever going into a sales conversation. And Lynn, this is huge. Anybody who's ever fearful of a sales call or nervous or anxious, again, when it's all about service and providing good and worthy intent, I can tell you, I just think that really causes all of that anxiety to disappear, because you no longer have an agenda of, am I going to win or am I going to lose? It is, I want to create the best possible outcome for this person right here. And because of that, I think this is like an aha moment for me. Wow, I remember being scared of sales conversations. And then I think it was about when we went through your training and I started really just being thoughtful about the language, leading in the sales calls, but also, again, worthy intent. I am just not afraid because I'm okay with any outcome. And because I'm okay with any outcome, Lynn, I'll just add this. I think that's the reason why our conversion rates are generally we have a good program, but I think that's probably one of the reasons our conversion rates are pretty great.
No, I mean, you have a great program, but it's also that with that sales strategy, you also know who's not a good fit, like you pointed out, and you also know who's a really good fit. And you can listen to what they need and why they need it, and then you can help them connect the dots, because it's guiding them to to a decision.
Yeah.
And also, some people need a little bit more time, right? They can't make a decision on the spot. And when you have your sales strategy worked out, then you've got your follow up process worked out and you're ready to move the conversation forward, because timing is everything in life and work. And that needs to take place as well, so that you can stay in touch, and someone may not make a decision today, but they could make it tomorrow or next month. And because of that experience of working with you, that client experience, they're going to want to, when they have somebody say, I don't even know who to start with, who should I talk to, they're going to know who to send your way,
Yeah.
because you've created an actual relationship. You've created a delightful experience. All right. This is long term, you know? So that is the key. And it is actually, it helps you in every aspect of your business, with your team, and in your personal life when you approach things with that relationship mindset.
Well, Lynn Whitbeck, this has been just a phenomenal conversation. To our friend that's been watching, obviously you've seen my admiration and appreciation for Lynn. And again, full disclosure, we are also Pokemon buddies.
Yeah.
Lynn, no joke. I
I'm
gotta call
level
you out.
49 now, Josh. I don't know if you're aware, because the last time we haven't done a raid together
I know.
forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Lynn, some fun fact about Lynn. I believe, Lynn, you are in the top 0.0001% of the population on Pokemon Go. You
Oh, I don't know about that. There's a lot of players that are way better than me.
well, I've never met one, so and I don't play too often. Usually, that's when I do my long walks with Levi. Then I have a little Pokemon Go going during the. I still do it, man. It gets me out there, gets me walking. So, Lynn, the website I've put in the comments below, upmyinfluence.com/sales23. Whether you work with Lynn or whether you ultimately maybe get mentored by somebody else, don't do sales alone. Sales is just one of those things, because we're talking about so many variables and human dynamics and relationships. And there's always, kind of learnings that we all learn from one another. Get in a peer group, get in a, find a mentor, engage live. Lynn, I want to point this out because for those who are pretty serious about business and you've got a little bit of budget to work with, I tell you, if there's one thing that I could wish and gift upon everybody, would be the program that more in line with what we did with you is the exclusive program, because it includes this last thing right here, and that's actual sales call reviews. That will change I can just tell you, having your sales calls reviewed by someone who knows what they're doing, and also, again, values alignment. So the right kind of sales trainer or mentor to review your calls, it could, I'm thinking of like that log jam, and how we're in business, Lynn, and sometimes it feels like we're in the flow, and then maybe sometimes it doesn't. It feels like, man, it just feels like stuck energy. Man, having someone from the outside in go, okay, Josh, I watched you a lot of good in the call, and I know you're really good at making people feel awesome for their sales calls, but then pointing out those opportunities where I came up with some different ways that you could say some things. And I think that it would reduce the friction and increase that kind of that, identifying with your guest a little bit better and being a little bit more empathic. And boy, if that isn't valuable, we cannot see our own stuff there. I don't have time to get into all of that, but I could just, if I want to put a plug in, upmyinfluence.com/sales23, you could see all the different levels that Lynn will work with you. If nothing else, you've never heard of Lynn, start at the $47 just get more client secrets program. Start from there and work your way up. But man, if you could at some point get your sales calls reviewed, I've done that. And sometimes I tell you, my experience consistently, Lynn, is one of like, I didn't even know. I didn't. Wasn't even complete. I had no awareness whatsoever that I did that. So yeah. And Lynn, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for doing this live stream. It's been a lot of fun. Have an amazing New Year's, an amazing weekend. And again, the link that I've been putting on the screen, that's where you can connect with Lynn. And Lynn, it's been so great. Have a wonderful New Year's. I'm grateful for our friendship, and thank you so much for sharing the insight and the wisdom. And I hope this conversation was valuable for people that have been watching this as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Josh. And I'm going to have my Pokemon Go up over the weekend, by the way.
Woo! All right. Take care. Thank you. Happy 2023, everybody.